Once upon a time, in a small village by the sea, there lived a fisherman named Marcus. Marcus had spent his whole life fishing in the same waters, using the same boat, and following the same routines. Every morning, he would wake before sunrise, row his boat into the calm sea, and cast his nets with practiced hands. Life was simple, predictable, and comfortable. But one day, everything changed. A great storm swept over the village, stronger than any Marcus had seen before. The winds howled, the waves crashed, and when the storm finally passed, Marcus found his boat shattered into pieces. His nets were torn, and the waters he once knew so well had shifted, making the fish harder to catch. Marcus stood on the shore, staring at the wreckage of his old life, feeling lost and afraid. For days Marcus sat in his home, refusing to go near the sea. He cursed the storm, he cursed the gods, and he cursed his bad luck. Why did this happen to me? He asked himself over and over. But the sea did not answer. The world kept moving, and the villagers, who also suffered losses, began rebuilding their lives. Marcus, however, remained stuck in his anger and fear. One evening, an old traveler passed through the village. He was a philosopher who had studied the teachings of the Stoics, men like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Seeing Marcus sitting alone, the old man approached him. "You seem troubled, my friend," he said. Marcus sighed and told him about the storm, his broken boat, and his fear of the unknown. The old man listened quietly and then smiled. "Change is the only constant in life," he said. "The storm did not ask for your permission before it came, just as the sun does not ask before it rises. The question is not why this happened, but what you will do now." Marcus frowned. "What can I do? My life is ruined." The old man shook his head. "Your life is not ruined. Only your boat is. The sea is still there. The fish are still there. And most importantly, we are still here." He leaned closer. "The Stoics teach us that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. The storm took your boat, but it cannot take your courage unless you let it." Marcus thought about these words. He had always believed that his happiness depended on things staying the same. But now he realized that nothing ever stays the same. The sea changes with the tide, the seasons turn, and even the strongest boats can be broken. What mattered was not the things he lost, but the strength he still had within him. The next morning, Marcus woke before sunrise, just as he always had. But instead of despair, he felt determination. He gathered the broken pieces of his boat and began carving them into smaller planks. He traded some of his old nets for tools and asked the other villagers for help. Slowly, day by day, a new boat took shape, stronger, lighter, and better suited for the changed waters. When the boat was ready, Marcus rowed it into the sea, feeling both nervous and excited. The waves were different now, but he learned to read them anew. The fish had moved, but he discovered richer spots he had never explored before. And though the work was harder, he found a strange joy in the challenge. Years later, Marcus became known as the wisest fisherman in the village. When storms came, others panicked, but he remained calm. When boats broke, others wept, but he rebuilt. And when young fishermen asked him how he stayed so strong in the face of change, he told them the words the old traveler had shared with him. "Nothing in life is permanent, not the good, not the bad. The only thing that belongs to you is your own mind, your choices, your actions, your courage. The world will change around you, but you decide whether to fear it or to adapt." And so Marcus lived not in fear of the next storm, but in readiness for it. He understood that change was not his enemy, but his teacher. And in that lesson, he found a peace deeper than the sea itself. The end.